Hello and welcome to week 12. I know, wow, I've been doing this now for nearly, well, I guess 4 months. No, 3 months. Oh dear, my maths there. But hi, welcome to A FAB Journey's weekly update. And this week is Silver Age, the future of Fab. No, it's not. That's the title of the show. Look, unfortunately, life got in the way of things, all the way of cards again this week. So we didn't get down to the local armory, but there is plenty to talk about. There's been another banned and restricted announcement from LSS, so we'll have a chat about that. I published a post about the different formats of Fab and read lots of hype around Silver Age that I'd like to have a little chat about. Also, I learned kind of what the war at large events is really kind of all about. And I've got a big idea for the future that I've put out there. So I thought I would have a quick chat about that as well. So yes, a bit of a different format to the weekly show this week. Hopefully we'll be back to the normal sort of format next week because that means I've gone down to Gateway Games and had a few games of Flesh and Blood, which is what the whole point of, well, it's what we'll enjoy doing, right? Is playing the game. A little thing also you might see there, look, I've got a couple of fan posters or Flesh and Blood posters in the background there. So thank you to LSS who have sent me those. And they are very on brand, aren't they? Start Your Journey is the on that one. I clearly still got quite a few rugby jerseys up from when I do my rugby podcasts. So clearly I need to get a few more posters. But hey, it's a start, isn't it? And I say thank you to LSS for sending me those posters. So then let's get into the news then. And LSS came out with another banned and restricted announcement around this time around LL or Living Legend ahead of Worlds. Look, I've mentioned, as mentioned in my formats post, I think the Living Legend format is for veterans who want to take it to the next level. So it really is the kind of that kind of top tier of the of the game. In other words, most of us don't play it. And look, I thought I could do another video like I did a few weeks ago around the news of the Living Legend bans and restrictions, where everyone basically at my local armory said, well, we don't really care because we never play it. But I didn't really see much point in doing the exact same video again. So why am I bringing it up then? Well, it's not actually for what the ban is banning, the cards. I really don't care. As I say, I don't play Living Legend. So whatever they're banning or restricting, it's not going to impact me or most of the people, or just pretty much everyone that I play with. So, so I want to talk about it because of this part of the statement. So let me just read this bit out. First, allow me to state the obvious. The run-up to Living Legend's first appearance at Worlds has not been particularly well executed. I take this opportunity to apologise to our players and assure you that we are already in the midst of adjusting our processes to avoid similar situations in the future. So that was part of the announcement from LSS. Now, I think that's really kind of important because look, LSS there is admitting they've made a mistake. Look, we all make mistakes. It's fine to make mistakes. So it's good that actually there's no shame in making them. So it's good that good that they will actually admit when they've made mistakes. Too many people or organisations do try to pretend they don't make mistakes. So it's refreshing to see that an organisation that does. Now, hopefully they won't make the same mistakes again. I'm sure LSS will make mistakes in the future, but as long as they're new mistakes, that's not repeating them, then they're doing the right thing. So well done to them for admitting that they've made a mistake here, and also good they're actually putting these in place to make so they don't make that mistake again. As I say, the actual specifics of it, if you want to know what they are of the restrictions and bans for Living Legend, go look on the Flesh and Blood website because, as I say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference to me. Or most people at this kind of level. Silver Age then, let's move on to the next topic. Now look, there's a lot of excitement around Silver Age and that's good, okay? We want people to be excited about playing Flesh and Blood. However, I do think there's a whole bunch of people going over the top. Part of that is probably just the world we live in, right? At the moment, it's people that people deliberately, or people just do over-exaggerate things, and particularly content producers do want to will exaggerate to make people click on it. Let's be honest, I've done that with this video. It's as I put out that I've made a thumbnail for the first time. Yay! Sort of upgrading the kind of quality of the content we're putting out there. And one of the friends in our Tauranga FAB group said, "Oh yes, well done, Paul. You got the clickbait title as well." Yes, of course, I've gone a bit clickbaity with my with the title of this one. So yeah, so perhaps there is people do need to have big opinions on these things. But look, for me, look, let's be honest, and let's have some realism. Classic Constructed is the main format and the future of Flesh and Blood. Okay, it's what most people play. It's what the competitive formats are as well. All of your callings this year that I could go through that weren't releases for like High Seas or the Hunted or Super Slam, they were all Classic Constructed. So Classic Constructed is the main format, and it is the future of Flesh and Blood. It is what Flesh and Blood really is from that point of view. Now, does that mean that Sage doesn't have its place? No, not at all. Look, it can still be played at regularly at community level and also competition level. But let's just try and not try and make Sage something that it's not. Let's not try and make it something for everybody. I remember that's in my opinion, that's one of the things that killed off Blitz. It's an affordable entry point, and it's a refreshing change for existing players where they can try out a wider range of heroes. But is it going to be the main? Is it going to be the future? Is it the main format? No, I don't think so, folks. It's going to remain being Classic Constructed. So let's just hold our horses a little bit on that one. I did write my bit on FAB formats, and hopefully you've listened to that, watched it, read it, however you collect your stuff. Oh yeah, that's probably a good point for me to say this. The A FAB Journey comes out as a video on YouTube and also on Substack. I also write these articles up on Substack as well. I write them first before I actually do the videos, and this is also put out as a podcast. So if you want to listen, read, or watch, we're available however you want to consume the media. So take a choice on that one as to which way you want to do it. But anyway, my FAB formats one where I looked through all the formats and basically decided that we only need 8 out of the 15 formats on there. That I did. But what I've kind of concentrated on, what I was thinking of when I wrote that, was what do people play, and what is the main event, or what's the main format played at big events. What I forgot all about was all the side events. So thank you to Paul Johnson, who's the premier tournament organizer for FAB in Aotearoa, or here in New Zealand. He highlighted about the side events and how they try to put on, try to include Shapeshifter at all events that aren't callings here in New Zealand or here in Aotearoa. So yeah, so it was nice for him to point that out to me on that Facebook post, and he did it very nicely as well. A good reminder that there is more to the world of FAB than just playing at your armory, and I'm learning about that as I go along. Because like whilst I technically was at the calling in Auckland because I was there for the Auckland card show, but we were there because my daughter collects Pokemon cards. We weren't there for Flesh and Blood. We discovered Flesh and Blood there, but I didn't know about Flesh and Blood at the time, so we didn't take part in any of the side events to the Auckland calling, unfortunately. I'm looking forward to next year when hopefully we will have another calling in Auckland or Battle Hardened with those side events that I can actually take part in. Now, as part of those side events, you have what's called a prize wall, and I've kind of conceptually understood, I had an idea as to kind of what it was I've got a friend who's over in Sydney at the Sydney calling this weekend, and so he showed me some photos of the prizes, and I kind of looked up how you get points for that. So the so look, this is how you get your prizes. Basically, each side event you take part in, and there's one kicks off every hour. You get points depending on how many wins you get. They start the day with double ticket events, obviously to get people there early for the 9 o'clock game, 9 o'clock event, and they finish the day with double ticket events, obviously to try to keep people there all day. So and then during the middle of the day are those single ticket events. These events, look, there's Classic Constructed, there's Living Legend, there's Blitz, there's Commoner, there's Sealed Deck, and also Crack Shuffle Play. So there's a whole range of different formats of side events that you can take part in. Now, look, I reckon that if you get the 9 o'clock one, you can then, 4 rounds of Classic Constructed, it's 4 hours, so 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock. You can then get your 1 o'clock event again, and then the 5 o'clock event. So if you really wanted to go back to back and play 12 hours worth of, or 12 rounds, or 12 hours worth of Flesh and Blood, you could do so. To me, I think that's kind of a little bit hardcore. And generally, you're going to skew. I think you're going to play 1 or 2 side tournaments a day. So you're going to get somewhere between. So for like me, who wins 1 or 2 games at my local armory, I'm looking at like 250, 350 points, I'd guess, for those double ticket events. If I do 2 of them across 6 days, you're looking at 1,500, sort of 2,000 points that you're going to get across that. Now, if you're a really good player and get those 4 wins, then hey, those points are going to build up quickly. But for me, I reckon I'd probably get around about 1.5. So yeah, maybe slightly over 2,000 points. What would that get you then? Well, the playmats they go for 600 points. That's kind of the bottom end of the prizes. You've then got those Marvel cards of various types. They're between 800 and 1,000 prize points or prize tickets for that. And then you've got these kind of cool sort of large cards that are framed there. Look, they're at 2,400 points. And then you've got down here, these are Marvels or uncut sheets of Marvel. So you've got 9 Marvel cards on a sheet framed there. Those going for up to 5,000 points for those ones. So those are the kind of things you kind of get. Having actually seen them in the not in the photo, having actually got sort of pictures of them and stuff, really kind of helps, or has allowed me to kind of really think to kind of a bit more kind of understand what the whole side event piece is about at these events, and yeah, it gets kind of make it a bit more exciting for my first big event when I actually get round to when I get the opportunity to go to one. Really looking forward to that. Has to be Auckland though, because let's be honest, my income's not very high, and I can't really afford to travel and stay over in down anywhere. So whilst it would have been lovely to have flown over to Sydney, that's way out of my budget range, unfortunately, to go to something like that. So those are the kind of topics I wanted to have a quick talk about. I also threw out there, as I said, this big idea I've kind of had, which is an armory guide to Aotearoa. So I've got a couple of other big sort of fun ideas, but this is one I'm kind of throwing out there at the or putting out there at the moment. Look, if you're traveling and you're staying in a new town, whether it's business or holiday or whatever, and you want to pop along to your local armory, what kind of things would you like to know about that armory before you arrive? That's what the armory guide to Aotearoa is supposed to tell you. And so, what kind of things would you like to know? Now, please let me know what you would like to know. Here's some of the stuff. Obviously, the local game store name, location, website. When is the armory? What format is the armory in? Do they play? How much is it, and what are the prizes? Is there food allowed or available at the armory? Does the local game store sell drinks? What's the parking like? What's the normal turnout? Are there casual games beforehand or afterwards? And a review of the evening as well. Anything else that you guys would like to know, then please let me know. Because if and when I kind of get to putting this together, if you tell me there's information you want to know about your local armories, then that's the kind of stuff that I will collect and put into this armory guide. So let me know, please. So what I thought what I should also do is have a look at the event finder and figure out how many armories are there actually in New Zealand. So yes, so I came up with this with the list. Again, I put it onto the New Zealand Flesh and Blood Facebook group, and boy oh boy, I suddenly realised there are 30 armories in New Zealand. A few more than I actually thought there would be, to be honest with you. There's the card merchant up there in Whangarei. In Auckland, we have got 8. Nova Games, Card Merchant Takapuna, Card Merchant Ponsonby, Hobby Lords Newmarket, Card Merchant West City, Hobby Master, Mighty Ape Hobbies, and Bay Dragon. So yes, you can go to an armory every single night of the week, or every single day of the week, because Saturday and Sunday one's obviously during the day of the week in Auckland. There, we've got a couple in Hamilton, Card Merchant Hamilton, which is where I went to for the what was it again? The Store Championships qualifier. Obviously, you can see the vlog about that, and also Gaming DNA, Gateway Games, my local down there in Tauranga. Digital Natives Academy in Rotorua that I hope to go to their Christmas party. That's going to be a good fun down there. It's going to be Ultimate Fight Pit for that. Getting a bit further afield, you've got new XP games in New Plymouth. There's a couple in Palmerston North, the Hobby Lords, Palmerston North, and the Valkyrie Games. Para Umu has got TCG Culture, which is one of the smallest locations smallest town in New Zealand that's got an armory. Lower Hutt with D&D games and Hobby Lords there. 3 more in Wellington with Serbius Games, Hobby Lords again, and a card merchant. Nelson's also got a card merchant. Then in Blenheim, again, nearly the same, just only tiny, only like a few hundred people, bigger than Para Umu, really a small place, has got Tabletop Cafe, so that's really cool. A couple in Christchurch with Iron Knight Gaming and Card Merchant down there. Dunedin's got the game store, Megazone, and also the Card Merchant in Dunedin. And then down in Invercargill, you've got Gamers United and Gamers Revolution. So yeah, so right across the country, from up there in the north, in Whangarei, all the way down to Invercargill, with those places. I'll be honest, I was a bit surprised how many there were. A bit more daunting now, trying to get around all of those and write up a review. If we think that what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 of those in the South Island, 22 in the North Island. I reckon that the Auckland, Hamilton, Tauranga, Rotorua ones, I can get to sort of drive to all of those. When we're talking a bit further afield, then it's going to be a bit harder to get to some of the other ones. So yes, what I thought I might do is apply to the Content Creator Grant next year in 2026 to help fund the creation of this guide. They give initially I thought it was $25,000 US dollars. You got no, it's 25,000 across the 5 creators, so you get 5,000 US dollars. I don't know if that's enough to cover the travel for this. I'm going to do some sums about that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to try and find some other kind of funding. So let me know if you think that's a cool idea to do, and what information you would like to see about those armories. Hey, if it's really successful, who knows? Perhaps I'll be able to fly over to Australia and do one over there as well. But that's pie in the sky stuff. That's really a long way off. But if you know someone who might like to help fund my travel to create this, then please do get in touch with the channel. That's all we have for this week on the weekly show. So, but do enjoy your fab and get in touch. I always do like to talk about the old game.